Hey everybody, this is Mr. Lee and I am reporting to you from Beijing, China. So English teaching is the go-to job for almost every foreigner in China. China.
In China, they say I don't like China. I love China.
There are over 100,000 native speakers teaching English in China.
China.
That was from a study done maybe in 2012. There's probably a lot more now. That's not even including the myriads of online English teachers out there today. So there are hundreds of thousands of English teachers. Now, if that's the career path you want to take, how do you get hired? How are you going to get the job? There are many things that will help you get the job, but since in the Chinese language, the number 6 is used to describe a smooth situation. Chinese people always say, liu, 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 liu. So I'm going to give you 6 tips for getting hired as an English teacher in China.
China.
Whether online or face-to-face. Let's get started. All right, so we're here in the middle of the city, but they have like these little parks. And here's the thing I wanted to show you guys. Ever since the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, they started to add these little exercise machines all around the city. The thing about it is, it looks very familiar to me. It's almost like the playground equipment I had in elementary school while I was growing up in America. Let's take a look at some of these. Look at this device right here. I don't know what it's for. Looks like some sort of torture device. That's nice. Oh, that's so good. No, it's not. This seems to be a Chinese elliptical of sorts. I am feeling that burn. I don't know how that works. Whoa, okay, there we go. Here we go. I was not ready for this. Number 1. Okay, here's number 1. You need to get certified. Being an English speaker does not make you an English teacher. Remember that. Which is why these certifications are somewhat important. Some people are like, well, the demand for teachers is so high. I don't need a certification. I'll still get a job. Which is true. The demand for English teachers in China, all around the world, is ridiculously high. In New Oriental alone, there are around 5 million students per year enrolled in their English classes. There's a lot of students out there. But here's the thing. Many companies and many schools are actually raising their standards to weed out those unqualified teachers. So you are going to want to get yourself certified. And it's about being responsible as a teacher. You want to know how to teach people? Well, you need to learn how to teach people. From institutes like TESOL, TEFL, and CELTA, they have been around for a long time. They have qualified professionals. They have experience. If you study with them, they'll give you a piece of paper that says, he studied with us. He knows basically what we know when it comes to teaching a person English who didn't grow up in an English-speaking environment. Number 2, you need to get experience. Of course, it's important to get the certification, that shows that you know the methods and principles and techniques behind teaching somebody English. But here's the thing, you cannot learn how to teach somebody through a book or through a class. You learn how to teach somebody by teaching somebody. So in order to know how to teach somebody, you need to go out there and get experience. A lot of these companies, they expect you to come in knowing how to teach people. They don't want to be your guinea pig, if you know what I mean. Number 3 is you need to get a degree. They don't care what degree it is. It can be a degree in ancient Syrian dance theory, but it shows that you are responsible, you are mature, and you are able to be consistent and persist through those 4 years to meet the requirements to get that piece of paper that says, hey, I'm educated. College graduates tend to be more likely to be responsible. Some people may be grown up in age, but they're actually like children. I know many people who are 35, dropped out of college, and they're living in their mother's basement playing video games all day. The degree shows the employer that you are serious, and it shows them that you are somewhat educated. That's why it's kind of important to have that degree. We are in a Chinese neighborhood right now. So this is basically what a Chinese neighborhood looks like in Beijing. We got these apartment buildings around us. You see that apartment building? Okay, so this is what they would call a house in Beijing. We wouldn't call that a house where I'm from. We'd call that an apartment, or at least that's the word that they use for it. They use the word house to describe it. Here's number 4. You have to speak English well. I think that goes without saying. It's probably the top requirement for being an English teacher that's teaching oral English, no less. Now, you may not have perfect grammar, like, who's that guy on the Big Bang Theory? It's on the tip of my tongue. I'll look it up later. You may not have perfect grammar, you might make some mistakes at times. Even native speakers make mistakes at times. But you need to make sure that you can speak English well. I cannot be a Spanish teacher if I can't get my verb conjugations and sentence structures all right. I have no business being a Spanish teacher. So you might come into the interview and your English is not so great and you might think that, oh, they're Chinese, they don't know. Actually, many Chinese people who work for these companies, they have either been abroad for a very long time or they studied English for a very long time. These people that do these interviews. If it's a serious company, they're gonna know. So you need to make sure that you speak English well. Number 5 is you have to be a fun and energetic teacher. Nobody likes a boring teacher. In English class, language studies is one of those subjects that can be very boring, like history, if you don't teach it properly or if you teach in a very boring way. All right, number 6 is this: take care of your appearance. Some people are going to say, oh no, looks don't matter, it's what's in the heart that counts.
Looks don't matter. Looks don't matter.
Sure, I agree with you. But here's the thing. If you see somebody in the club or in the library or in the street or whatever in the mall and you fall in love with them, it's love at first sight, not love at first time I hear your life story. So most of the time people will judge someone immediately by their looks, especially in China. Most Asian countries, they value looks very much. You see how the celebrities get the plastic surgery and stuff like that. Those phones that have the beautification on it, the filter automatically. Those phones all came from Asia. So they emphasize looks very heavily, especially in China.
China, South China, China.
So when you come to an interview or you turn on your computer for the interview, they're going to judge you by what they see. Just be honest. Would you hire this guy or would you hire that guy? Who would you hire? Don't lie to me, okay? Be honest. You judge everyone by their looks as well. The first thing you do when you see somebody. You may have to remind yourself, oh, this guy might not be, the way he appears. And that's a good thing. That's just human nature. That's what we do as humans. We judge things by their looks. We judge a book by its cover. That's why they make the cover look good. The person interviewing you will be superficial and your students will be superficial. So make sure you take care of your appearance, smile. Don't do one of those smiles like this, but do a real smile. That's what people like to see, right?
Smile.
Make sure you shave. If you want to keep the beard, at least trim it so it's nice and neat. Don't go into your interview with one of those crazy Peter Griffin beards. You know what I'm talking about. So this is a fruit market right here. You can get your fresh fruits and vegetables here. These markets are basically open in the morning. Now people are gone, so they're packing up for the day. And it's fresh fruits that they bring into the city from the farms outside of the city. All right, everybody, so that's basically my 6 tips for getting hired as an English teacher in China.
China.
Whether online or face-to-face in a school. If you think I left something out that was important, if you think there's another tip out there that people should know about, leave it below in the comment box. If you like the video, forward it to your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at BlingABC. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. See you later, alligator.
You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China.